All right, so got a doe, 70 yards, 135 grain, Apex Afterburner out of my 308. Impact velocity, I'll have to calculate later, but it was pretty high, only 70 yards, and it was 3,000 feet per second at the muzzle. You can see I already took the heart out, but slightly quartering away, or quartering to, sorry. So there's what's left of the heart. Blew it up quite well, and you can see I'm still working on it, but I wanted to kind of get it as I'm going here if I can. You can see the exit right there, gigantic hole. Entry is, I'll have to get a better picture later, but it's right there. Not quite as big, but still pretty large. I'd say it started expanding pretty much immediately and blew out huge and just destroyed everything in here. I mean, it's just, this is the puree that we like to see and talk about, like just annihilated. All right, here we go again. So that's the entrance. So it went through her leg, broke her leg, and immediately started expanding there, and then would have lost its petals, and that's why the exit over here, so I got that wrong before, is smaller, because that's what was left, just the shank exiting. And you can see it came apart pretty incredibly right there and just destroyed the inside. So it's nothing but puree left in there that I got to dump out. And then here's all the guts, what's left of one of the lungs and bits of the heart. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Keep in mind, this was only 70 yards, so really high impact velocity. So I would want to see that for sure. Rear lobe, outside, liver, rumen. Yeah, so did a number. All right, so this is the first one I shot. She was quartering to me. Not too bad, not completely broadside, but a little bit quartering. And this is the entrance. So like I said, she was quartering. So I kind of put it in the front part of her shoulder. If you can kind of see, that's more towards the front. And then it went, well, let me zoom in here. You can see for sure that that's the entrance. Just a little hole there. So entrance, and then move around, and it came out, since she was quartering, came out behind the shoulder over here, and that's the big hole there. Shrunk as it's dried, but that was probably golf ball size the day I shot her. It's Thursday now. I shot her Monday night. They've been hanging for a couple days. So entry and exit on the outside. All right, so here's a little shot as I'm going here. So this is kind of the area around behind the shoulder. You can see that. That's the shoulder. So this is the back of the shoulder with the hide laid over it, but you can see where I'll get, as I get the shoulder skinned, we'll see more, but this is behind the shoulder. It's already opened up quite a bit, the bullet has, that is, and done quite a bit of damage here. There's even some bloodshot throughout the side here. Not a big deal. All that rinses off without any trouble. And then over here, that was the exit. And there's the hole in the hide. So just wanted to show so far as I'm going, just trying to get this documented as I go. Okay, got her all skinned. Again, this is the first deer that shot through the shoulder. I don't even know if I can find exactly where it was now, but where the entry was, that is, but clearly broke her bone. So somewhere up in there where that bone attached, completely broken. And then backside, I did make a cut through, one small cut right up here. I just cut just a little bit. Otherwise, the rest of this is bullet. I only did that so I could kind of open this up and show everything in there. Lots of bone fragments. Haven't found any bullet yet, but I might eventually. Pieces of petals, I would imagine. But yeah, I mean, rocked her shoulder just like I figured it would. But I mean, that'll rinse off pretty well. And I don't know how much of this is actually wasted. People talk about saving meat. Most of this would be just fine once it's rinsed off really well. It's just parts that I'll trim away, but I mean, I don't see a whole lot wasted here once you get all that rinsed off. But definitely plenty of damage. So far, so good. Okay, so left side that was facing me, that's the shoulder that it entered, and then it came through there. So evidence says bullet opened up in the shoulder, was still very wide at the point it blew through the ribs there, as it was traveling in a trajectory from front here and then went up and exited there. Smaller wound, or smaller hole rather, exiting, because by that point the rest of the petals and everything went into the vitals, completely destroyed all those, and then just the shank exited. So I'm not worried about a small exit in this case, because that's to be expected. What's important is how well it performed as it went through. So this is like similar performance that I've seen with like the dynamic research technology bullets, where they're the compressed powder core. They come in, they open up violently, shred the vitals, and then there's not usually too much of an exit. It just kind of depends, but somewhat similar to that. Sometimes they don't exit at all. This one I would pretty much anticipate an exit most of the time, if not all the time, just of how it's constructed. So pretty awesome though. I am happy with these results. There you go. All right, so this was the second doe that I shot about 200 yards. This is the offside. This is one wound so far, and I already picked a piece of petal out of it. I'll show you that later, pictures and stuff, but just wanted to I kind of forgot to get some pictures and video as I was skinning here. So before I got the hide off of it, I wanted to get a quick video real quick and some pictures. All right, just stopped again. Not very far into it. They're right in there is a petal. So just wanted to get that where it lied, as it lies. All right, so this was kind of a weird one. She was 200 yards from me. I was laying prone, shooting through the corn stalks at her. She was quartering away pretty heavy, but she was looking back basically over her shoulder at me. So I was aiming for her shoulder to try to make it go, you know, through the shoulder and out the front over here. But she was turned so far over. What happened, ended up happening was it entered through the bottom of her neck. You can see, hopefully you can see, like, that's just completely wide open. I didn't do that with the knife. I was very careful. That's all bullet. And there were pieces of petal and everything all up in there. It just completely, I mean, I don't know if you can see in the video or not, but I mean, that's a huge wound channel. Just the whole side of her neck is just completely blown open, and it exited out the top. So she was turned back. It's kind of how it went in here, because she can't do it now obviously because she's too stiff, but her head was tilted all the way back here, and it went in bottom of her neck and out right there. She dropped instantly, nothing left. Probably got spine. There's pieces of bone that I can see all up in there. So not what I wanted, but obviously still the bullet did very well. Came apart obviously with pieces of petal everywhere. I can show you some of those. I'll get them cleaned up, but there's at least 3 pieces right there that I've gotten so far. So I'll take some pictures too. Pretty gnarly.